Cool. So, guys, that is the end of day 2 of Performance in Live Global. What a fantastic day. Thank you very much to all of our speakers, our panelists, our sponsors, and of course, you guys for joining us. Really couldn't have done it without you, particularly with those excellent questions that you had coming in throughout the day. So I hope you found today as useful as I have. I think there were loads of great takeaways. And before we finish completely for the day, I just want to take you through kind of my highlights and takeaways that I think are going to stick with me after today, that we can all apply into our day-to-day jobs. So we started the morning with Flo from Impact, who began the day with a very bold statement that nobody likes ads. And to be fair, I do kind of agree with him, at least not the boring, intrusive ads that are clearly just trying to sell you something at all times. I think, as an industry, whether you work in pre-roll, display, or affiliates, it's something that's we're all keen to try and avoid if we can. As he mentioned, the industry is getting a bit of a wake-up call on this with, the cookie apocalypse of iOS 14 and Google's move away from remarketing across multiple sites. But as Flo mentioned, over the last 7 years, affiliate marketing has grown in prominence, but still has the rather unfair perception of being a little shady, as he said. But credit to our speakers, I think that's definitely a theme that they kind of tackled head on today, and definitely prove that it's very much a misconception and a rather unfair one at that. So how can brands and advertisers counter this? Well, as was discussed, advertisers need to be within their circle of trust with consumers and with publishers, but not by using traditional ad tactics that can be more disruptive. Really, the priorities are for affiliates to deliver what Flo described as the 3 most important things: authenticity, advocacy, and trust through technology. And so, talking about trust and consumer behaviors, we then went on to talk about how online shopping has changed during lockdown with our talk, Coupon Publishers, Curse or Blessing. And in that session, we heard from Rachel from Office Depot and Christian from Ad Police, and they shared some pretty mind-blowing stats. So 92% of shoppers in 2020 searched for coupons or offers before buying online. And 63% of shoppers say they want coupons to be more available. And it's this sort of behavior that people believe and evaluators believe is going to remain for the rest of 2021 and beyond. And I thought it was pretty interesting that Rachel talked about the value of affiliate marketing beyond just giving discounts. She mentioned how discount codes increase traffic to their website, introduce new customers. But what I thought was particularly interesting was that affiliate marketing, based on what she was saying, can actually increase a customer's basket value by 50% depending on the offer. So, this misconception that it's always about just, taking money off, when actually, in her experience, there's a real opportunity to actually increase the average basket value. Obviously, with such big potential rewards come an element of risk. And Christian talked about how 9% of all transactions are affected by fraud. And last year, there was suspected losses of $1.4 billion as a result of affiliate fraud. So it's really important, guys, to monitor your affiliate marketing and look out for certain red flags, such as high commission in affiliate channels, high volumes of website traffic, which is always a bit of a red flag there, and high instances of coupon failure or rejections. So yeah, look out for those and maybe take a look a bit deeper if those things are popping up. And that was actually quite a nice segue for the next talk, which was guidelines and standards for our industry. So yeah, the organisers done a great job of making sure that really flowed, because that was a perfect segue. And we heard from James at Top Cashback, Nikesh from the IAB, and Kevin from AWIN, who was our expert moderator. And James kicked us off talking about the need to educate the industry more about relevant guidelines and helping to get agencies and merchants on board to help them build better affiliate programs. So things like better tracking for mobile, and in particular improving the speed of validation so that partners get paid quicker than the standard kind of 6 months, and customers get cash back sooner to have a more positive experience. And that, again, was a lot about what was discussed, ensuring that everyone benefits, particularly the users themselves, and really keeping customers at the heart of what we do. And that was a theme that really came through a lot today. We heard from Nikesh, who talked about the IAB's gold standard for programmatic advertising, and how a similar scheme can really help with affiliate standards. And their gold standard covers complying against ad fraud, data and privacy, and user experience. And I particularly liked it when Nikesh talked about the Coalition for Better Ads, which is something that Google released a list of 15 ads so annoying that they may actually force a user to download an ad blocker. So definitely be sure to check that out after this. I know I will. On the subject of annoyances, something that I think has been annoying everyone over the past year is the inability to travel. And this was discussed in detail by Michael from Expedia Group as he chatted to George from Partnerize. And they talked about some of the shifts in customer behavior and changing trends. So things like customers holding back before booking elements of their holidays due to the current uncertainty that we all face. So we heard about how there's been a massive increase in demand for domestic travel as people in the UK assume that they may only be able to stay in the UK. We've also heard that there's been a real increase in demand for home and cottage style kind of rental holidays as people get a bit more cautious about hanging out in hotels, despite there being the necessary safety precautions in place. And then also, Expedia have seen that things like ski seasons, which have been totally missed, as a result of that, demand has gone massively up. And I think that's something that we can apply beyond just travel, things that people have missed over the last year because it just simply wasn't available. There's this real appetite for it now, and we need to be planning accordingly for it. And I can definitely vouch for that, just trying to get a table at Pizza Express on the last weekend, absolutely impossible to do. So what did Michael suggest? Well, he talked about how it's important for travel brands to change from generic marketing to more kind of local, more reactive messaging. And he gave us the example of how he liaises with Expedia's insights team to consider what restrictions are in play in a particular destination and change the messaging rapidly and regularly. And I think that's something that all of us have had to do in the past year, be a lot more flexible. But I think it's something that we need to be doing, continuing to do. And I think potentially that's something that's going to last beyond COVID. As Michael said, again, it's true for their customers as well as their partners. And Michael couldn't make the Q&A due to a technical issue. But if you've got any questions for him about travel, about Expedia, please do reach out to him via the chat box on the platform. And in fact, you can talk to any of our speakers today who'll be happy to answer any questions you've got. So please don't hesitate to get in touch with them if you've got any questions that we couldn't get through or that you didn't have a chance to ask. We then heard from Carl at Join Piggy and Sina from the Hut Group, who went into detail about browser extensions with, frankly, some refreshingly candid opinions about it all. And when we talk about browser extensions, I'm talking about the pouches, the Honey by PayPal, which let you install a piece of software on your Google Chrome, and then it will automatically find a discount for you when you're shopping. And Sina talks about the importance of testing for 1 to 2 months before starting a browser extension campaign, regularly checking your KPIs to see how many new customers it's delivered, the size of the average basket, which apparently when using browser extensions, you actually see the average basket size increase, which I thought was really interesting. And then Carl touched on what the future of browser extensions could look like and how we can find out a lot more about a person and understanding, what kind of deals specifically suit them and being able to change what we do accordingly. And I think he made a really good point as well about the incremental reach of browser extensions. It's unlikely that somebody is going to have all of the different companies' extensions installed on their computer. So if it's working for one, it might work if you advertise with the others as well. And similarly, if it doesn't work for one, that's not to say it doesn't work for the others. And then finally, we've just had a great panel called Help, My CMO Has Banished the Discount, featuring Chris from Intently and Smart Click, Michelle from Lily's Kitchen, Sophie from Global Savings Group, and Alina from Lenovo. It was a really interesting discussion with plenty of useful information and ammo that I'm sure anyone listening can use next time they need to justify their affiliate programs to their bosses. And yeah, they were basically talking about, there's a misconception that coupon sites would damage brand quality and messaging, and that isn't the case. And there's also that misconception about the fact that they steal all the glory because they've got that last click. But as Sophie mentioned, 70% of baskets are abandoned before purchasing, and 55% of the time that is due to pricing. And actually 27% of shoppers abandon their baskets specifically because they wanted a discount. So it's pretty safe to say that users don't officially become a customer until they click that button to place their order. So yeah, I think just so many good things that we saw today. Really fantastic talks from everyone. Really appreciate you guys joining us today. Thank you so much for taking part with your brilliant questions. Thank you once again to our amazing speakers, our sponsors, and of course the team that have done such an incredible job of ensuring that everything ran so smoothly. It's been a real pleasure speaking to you guys. Have a lovely evening, and we will see you for day 3 tomorrow. Thank you.